I was interested in this phrase, the Hall of Valhalla, when used by Cash Patel in his tribute to Charlie Kirk. It was new to me. So, Andrew, let's talk about it. Ancient Norse mythology might seem worlds away from modern politics. Still, when Cash Patel referenced seeing Charlie Kirk in Valhalla, he tapped into something far more profound than just a casual metaphor.
You know, Pappy, what fascinates me about that reference, the way it connects to this entire warrior tradition, which is thousands of years old, yet somehow feels relevant to today's social media battles.
Well, let's break down what Valhalla actually represented in Norse culture. It wasn't just some heavenly retirement home. We're talking about Odin's Great Hall, where the Valkyries would bring the most honored warriors who died in battle. These warriors weren't just hanging around drinking mead, though there was plenty of that. They were actively preparing for Ragnarök.
Hmm. So it's almost like a spiritual boot camp for the ultimate battle at the end of time?
Exactly that. And what's really interesting is how this concept has evolved in our modern context. When someone references Valhalla today, they're not talking about literal sword and shield combat. They're tapping into this whole tradition of honor, courage, and fighting for what you believe in.
That's exactly what makes this reference so powerful in today's context, especially in the political sphere where battles are fought with words and ideas instead of weapons.
It's fascinating how these ancient symbols continue to resonate. In Norse mythology, the warriors in Valhalla weren't just individuals, they were part of this larger community, united in purpose. When Patel makes this reference about Kirk, he's essentially placing him within a broader context of people fighting for shared beliefs.
Well, that really speaks to our human need for meaning in conflict. We're not just arguing about policies, we're participating in something that feels more significant.
And that's where social media comes into play. It's become our modern battlefield. Instead of shield walls, we have follower counts. Instead of sword strikes, we have viral tweets. The weapons have changed, but the fundamental human elements remain surprisingly consistent.
So, how do you think this kind of mythological framing affects the way people view their role in these modern conflicts?
That's a crucial question. When someone sees their struggles being compared to those of honored warriors, it can be incredibly empowering. But there's also a risk here. We need to be careful about elevating every Twitter spat to the level of an epic battle.
Like finding that balance between drawing inspiration from these ancient concepts while staying grounded in modern reality.
Exactly. And what's particularly interesting? The way these references continue to evolve. The meaning of Valhalla isn't static, it's being constantly reinterpreted to fit our current understanding and needs.
Well, that really shows how resilient these cultural symbols are. They adapt and survive because they speak to something fundamental about human experience.
And in the end, that's what makes Patel's reference so fascinating. He's not just making a casual mythological reference, he's tapping into this entire tradition of honoring struggle, recognizing courage, and acknowledging the importance of fighting for what you believe in.
You know what's really striking? The way these ancient concepts help us make sense of our modern battles is that they look entirely different from what the Vikings could have imagined.
Hmm. And that's the real power here. Whether we're talking about ancient warriors or modern activists, these core human experiences of struggle, courage, and dedication remain remarkably consistent. The battlefields change, but the warrior spirit endures.
Pappy, That's quite a profound way to look at it for you, how we frame our modern conflicts.
And as we wrap up, Andrew, it's worth considering how these ancient concepts might continue to evolve as our methods of conflict and communication continue to change. What will Valhalla mean to future generations fighting battles we can't even imagine yet?